Today we're also going to talk about editing website content in WordPress. This is a very common collection of questions that come up. We're going to run through some of the basics here to get you started with any WordPress website and editing content in WordPress. First, you're going to have to access the WordPress dashboard. By default, the login page is located at /wp-admin for your domain. So we have an example here, www.yoursite.com/wp-admin. You'd put in whatever your URL is for the website that you're working on. The directory that you would be pointing to is that /wp-admin, and you'll be presented with a screen like this to be able to enter your username and password. If you have forgotten your password, you can also click on the link at the bottom there that says lost password, and you should get a password reset email. Here again, this is the generic way that WordPress is set up straight out of the box when you first install it. There are many ways that you can change this behavior. You can move where this login page might be located. There are changes that you can make to where you cannot recover lost passwords. So we're talking about the default setup for WordPress as it comes out of the box when you first do an installation. So if you do not find the login page at the domain /wp-admin, there is the possibility that it has been moved somewhere. Somebody that's managing your website would have made that change. So you would need to contact whoever your administrator is that's managing the website and figure out where they have moved that login page. Any of these other changes, again, with resetting passwords or anything of that nature beyond this default behavior, you're going to want to check with your management company or the internal IT services with your company, whoever it is that's in charge of managing that website or who has been in charge of managing that website in the past. Once you are logged in, you'll see a menu on the left-hand side of your dashboard that looks a lot like the image that we have here. We're going to start by discussing editing posts and pages. So for posts, on the left-hand side, you're going to click on the menu item post. I've got it highlighted in yellow here. Once you click on that link, you will see a list of your posts, and you can scroll through that list. It may take up many pages, so you might have to click through various pages to find the post that you're looking for. When you hover over the post that you're interested in, you'll see a menu show up under that where you can click on Edit, and you can edit that specific post. Pages work very much the same way. When you click on the Pages item in the menu on the left-hand side, you'll see a list of all of your pages. Again, it may take up multiple pages of pages. You can scroll through, find the one that you want to edit, and click on the Edit button under the title of the page that you're wanting to change. When you click on that Edit button, this is what the Gutenberg, the now default WordPress editor, looks like. If you're new to WordPress, then you won't be aware of the changes. It's been a few years ago now. The WordPress editor changed significantly. So if you've used WordPress some time ago and this looks very different to you, this is what's now known as the Gutenberg editor. We edit now using what are called blocks. On the left-hand side, in the area that is outlined with the number 1, those are the blocks that you can use on the page. The area that's in number 2 that's outlined there, that is where we are editing the page. And then in section number 3 off on the right hand side, that's where we are able to make setting changes for either the block, so settings for the individual items that we're putting onto the page, or the post. The word would change there whether you're editing a page or a post, but on the right hand side you can see where there's a menu option for, in this case, post and block. If you were editing a page, it would say page and block. Next, you may be interested in customizing the appearance of your website. This is where you can change some settings for your themes. You could change the actual theme that's on the website. You're going to go to the Appearance menu item on the left-hand column, and then under Appearance, you'll find an option for Customize. That'll show up after you have clicked on Appearance. And from there, you can modify various elements like your header, footer, widgets, and the overall layout. The options that will be available to you under Appearance and then Customize will change depending on the theme that you're using on your WordPress website. So if you're looking at somebody else's website and they have other options available to them, don't worry, it's probably because they are using a different theme than you are, and so your theme may have more options or less options available to you. This is one of the things that you want to consider when you're selecting a theme, is what changes are you going to want to be able to make within that customized menu. The next area to look at, also under Appearance here, is the Widgets section. Widgets are kind of small blocks of code. They perform specific functions, so they can list different types of pages. They can list all of the tags on your site. There's a myriad of different widgets that you can choose from to be able to adjust the behavior of the menus and the sidebars and the header and footer sections of your website. Those sections are also dependent on the theme that you're using. Some themes will have more or less sections where you can put widgets. Next, we're going to take a look at the menus. So also under the Appearance menu item, you will find an option for menus. These are the menus that you create on the front end of your website for visitors that are coming to your site to be able to find the pages and the posts and click through to links where you're wanting to direct them on your website. These menus can be located very commonly in the header at the very top of the page, but you can also have menus listed in the footer. Common use of menus in the footer is to be able to create links to pages like your privacy policy or terms of use. Those terms and condition links are typically included in a menu that is placed in the footer of your website. While you may have things like your blog and your about page, those are typically going to be located in the menu at the top of your page. Now that we've covered editing pages and posts and adjusting the appearance, we want to take a look at the plugins. To be able to add new plugins, to install plugins on your website, you're going to go to the Plugins menu item. Here again, I have it highlighted, and it's on the left-hand menu. The plugins are towards the bottom, a little bit under Appearance on this menu. Once you're in the Plugins menu, you'll find an option for Add New, and then from there you can search for and add the plugin that you would like to install. In most cases, you're going to want to use the plugins that are available to you through the WordPress library. These have already been vetted in some ways to identify plugins that are probably going to work for your website. The reason I say probably is that there are a bunch of unforeseen conflicts that come from installing multiple plugins and multiple themes. There might be some conflicts that haven't been tested. Given that there are thousands of plugins and thousands of themes, there's no way of testing all of the possible combinations. So as you're installing things on your website, it's generally a good idea to limit the number of plugins and themes that you're using in order to reduce the likelihood that there's going to be a conflict between them. But you can also upload plugins. So some premium plugins where you go and you pay for the plugin, it might be given to you as a download that you download onto your computer. You can then go into Plugins, Add New here within your WordPress site, and you'll see an option to be able to upload a plugin from your computer. You only want to do this for premium plugins that you've already paid for and somebody has delivered to you as a download. The reason I'm using so much caution here is that there are plugins that you can find out on the internet that you might download in this way that are actually viruses or other malicious software. You don't want to be installing any plugin that you happen to find out on the internet that you download. You want to either get the plugins directly from the WordPress library, or you want to have downloaded the plugin from a company that you have a commercial relationship where you have purchased that plugin, and that commercial relationship transfers some level of trust that you can be sure that that plugin that you're about to install doesn't have any malicious software included with it. If you just found a plugin on the internet and downloaded it, I would not recommend uploading that into your WordPress website through that upload option. I would stick with the ones that are available to you within the WordPress library. And that library will be shown to you in the plugins. When you click on Add New, you'll be able to search through that library. Now, we've talked about it a few times already. You want to make sure that you're previewing and saving any of the changes that you make. So I've highlighted that in the upper right-hand corner here with editing pages and posts. There are options as shown there where you can preview the changes that you've made. You can see here in the screenshot that I have, there's a check mark next to the word saved. So you know that any changes here have been saved. And then whenever you're ready, you can click on the publish button, and that will make this content live. So that way everyone in the world can see it on your website. So we have covered editing website content in WordPress. This is the basic high-level overview of how to be able to make changes to a WordPress website. WordPress has a user-friendly interface that makes these changes very easy. It does take a little bit of time to learn how the menus are structured and where those changes might be found, but it is not a overly complicated system to learn. It makes editing a WordPress website very similar to editing a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation. It is something that you need to learn how to do, but it is a very achievable task for pretty much anyone. To run through those steps real quick again, first we're going to access the WordPress dashboard. Then we can look at editing pages and posts. We've also discussed using the WordPress editor, customizing the appearance of your website, adding or editing widgets, updating menus, installing plugins, and make sure that you preview before you save any changes for your site. And to wrap things up for the WP chat today, I want to invite you to visit OptSus.com/WP chat, and you'll find a form there that we use for collecting topic ideas. If you have any questions about WordPress and building your own website that you would like to see us address, you can go and visit OptSus.com/WP chat, complete the form there, sharing your topic ideas, and we will add those to our queue of topics to cover here on the WP chat. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day.